Okay, so I want to talk about the books that I read in June. I read a total of 4 books in June, and it was a really, I would say overall, I don't know. It wasn't a great reading month because the books that I read were not very good. At the same time, I'm still like totally in a reading zone right now, so I'm happy about that. But the books that I read, I can't say were exceptional by any means. So I'm going to start off with the first book that I finished in June, and that's The Dreamers by Karen Walker Thompson. This was recommended to me at a bookstore here in Toronto, and the salesperson was very enthusiastic about this novel and said that basically everyone at the store really enjoyed it and yada yada. So I was, whatever. I just like purchased it. And yeah, I found this really disappointing. So this has like a super YA feel to it. It also kind of like looks really YA to me. And I mean, it's easy, it's engaging enough and easy enough as a read, but just, it's one of those books that I'm not going to really remember at all, and I would never recommend it to anyone, so I'm a little bit baffled by her recommending it to me. The basic premise of this is um, it experiments or delves into this situation where this small town in California, like a college town, is contracts this virus, which starts off in a university dorm room. And essentially, the virus is this sleeping sickness. Yeah. So when I saw that this was like called The Dreamers, I assumed that would be like some symbolic metaphor. But no. The characters in this book are legit sleeping. And that's the story. Like, that is the premise of this book. Basically, there's this sleeping sickness that goes around, and people are in a sleep that they cannot awake from. And essentially, this entire town becomes slowly ravaged by this sickness, and a few essential characters are left untouched, I think, with the exception of some, and then slowly at the end of the book, I, I won't say, but it was just, I just felt like it was kind of pointless, and it did a thing where a lot of books do this, especially I find like YA-ish books, which is that it was trying to be a lot smarter and more profound than it in fact was. Um, yeah, this was a no for me. I mean, I didn't hate it, but, and I could see a lot of people liking it, but I just thought it was kind of stupid and meh. So that, I think I gave this a 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The next book I read was a crime thriller, Lying in Wait by Liz Nugent. This was a bingey as fuck read for me. I think I finished it in like a day, maybe 2 days. It's really not that long, and it really is bingey, and in that sense, it's also kind of trashy. Um, but I kind of had fun reading it, I will say. It was kind of a fun read, and the story was fun enough, and the characters were weird and sociopathic enough that I stuck it through and actually enjoyed myself. It's not a good book. If you just want something to like fly through and like keep your reading senses emerged, then this is a really good one, I think. Basically, this isn't a spoiler, but there's a murder that takes place right at the beginning of the novel, and the main characters, they switch perspectives between like the wife. The murder happened essentially from this couple, this very high class couple in like England or something. I think it's England, and or no, Ireland. It might be Ireland. Anyway, yeah, so they are in cahoots, with this murder, and the son is unaware they have a son, and then later in life, the son becomes intertwined with the sister of the victim, and it's just this whole whodunit, but slash, you are reading from the three perspectives of the son, the mother, and the sister of the victim. So yeah, it's fine, not bad, not very memorable, wouldn't really recommend it, but if you're looking for that type of a thing, it's not bad. Okay, then I'm going to move on to the third and worst book I read probably this year, I would say. I really didn't like this at all. I had a big problem with it. And that is The Best Kind of People by Zoe Woodall. How do I start with this one? So, the premise, let's start with the premise. So the premise is George Woodbury is a very respectable and highly regarded member of society. He is a teacher at a high school. It's a very beautiful and elegant and rich neighborhood in, again, I think California. And he is accused of, I think, attempted rape and sexual harassment of minors and, that sort of thing. And then essentially the story moves on from that, accusation, which happens at the beginning of the novel, and looks at how the family members react to this and the town more broadly and so forth. So I had some serious problems with this book. First of all, the writing is just not good. It's just not good. It's not like I was bored, but I ended up getting bored. So, a novel with bad writing, I mean, that's just, you're not off to a good start. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the emotional vapidity. Is that the word I want to use? Vapidness, vacuousness of every character in this novel is so obvious. None of them experience emotions beyond anger and doubt and empathy. The central questions that they're asking, and by this I mean the wife of the husband and the daughter and the son, they go, did he do it? I can't believe I would think that he did this. I feel so bad for my dad/husband. That's the range of emotions they experience. It was tiresome to go through that and just feel like this author is not shedding any interesting light on the topic, which is a very heavy topic. And I actually realized all of the characters are the exact same. They don't have many differences. And again, this book suffers from the issue that I'm seeing again of thinking it is so much smarter and so much more insightful and illuminating than it in fact is. I don't recommend this to anyone. It, in my opinion, was a waste of time. And I'm truly, totally baffled that this was nominated for some Canadian award. I really don't understand why this was or is well received in the slightest. I thought it was horrible. I really did. I think I gave it a 1 star. I hope I did. It was not good. Really do not read this book. It's not good. That's all I have to say. It was just not good. And it's a juicy premise, and what a betrayal of the subject. Anyway, moving on. Then I read a debut novel, which is this one called Early Work by Andrew Martin. Beautiful cover. Really, really lovely cover. And I started this off quite liking it. I found it really immediately engaging, and I enjoyed the sense of humor. I enjoyed, the sort of decadent / very indulgent characters. I thought they were funny, but of course, it became really bad. I don't feel like I'm I sound so critical, but don't feel like my tastes are crazily high. I just thought that this ended up being really stupid and again vapid and just it's called early work. I hope it's his only work. I do because these characters were insufferable. They really were. The premise again is this author who has a very hardworking girlfriend who is also a writer, also a medical student. He decides to have a love affair with another writer who is equally as lazy and just, you know, self-important as he is, and they're both pretentious and talk about, you know, all the books that they read and just how they are so into each other, and they both have this really disgusting lovers tryst, you know, because they're like fetishizing each other's intellectualness. So that's the premise. And the one thing I kind of enjoyed about this was the ending, though. So I won't say too much about that, but I kind of liked that part. It sort of leaves off a little bit like unsolved, and I kind of liked that. But I don't really think I'll be following this author very much. I just thought this was eh. In fact, I think I really wanted it to end when I was reading it, so not a win for me. So yeah, really not a great selection of books here. However, I am reading right now All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This won the Pulitzer. It's been extremely well received, and I have to say I'm starting it, and it's a really nice welcome change from the crap I've been reading. It's a bit of a simmer, this one. It's not as, you know, grabbing, but I already know that the writing is lovely. The characters are intriguing and charming, and yeah, I already am liking this, though I will say it's not like a grabber, an immediate one, but it's a bit more slow burning, but I think I'm gonna enjoy this, so I'm hopeful for July's reads and that I make some better choices. So thanks for tuning in.